This feels weird to be filming again, sitting down talking to a camera. I've not done it in a while, as you can probably tell. But hello everyone. So I have not sat down and talked to a camera in so long, but I wanted to wait for the right opportunity to talk about something that I have a bit of a passion about, something that I am interested about. So I completed 75 medium, but I decided to wait until I finished 75 hard in order to give like my proper rundown on the 75 challenges. It became very popular last year, and I think a lot of people tried them this year, and I think it's suffice to say a lot of people didn't finish. And so with that, I finished 75 hard yesterday. So I feel like I'm in a good space to be able to give advice on it. So therefore, welcome to my crash course on the 75 genre. I also wanted to do this because when I started doing 75 medium, there wasn't a single person who wasn't like athletic doing any of these challenges. All of the influencers were people who were naturally very good at like sports and everything else. I'm someone who used to be in the obese category of my BMI, verging red. Like it wasn't good. I made a lot of mistakes that I don't like to admit. I used to binge drink, I used to binge eat. I used to just have a very addictive personality, and I had to turn that around into being addicted to something that was good for me. I've got my laptop here just in case I need to refer to any of my notes that I've made, but I think I'm gonna mainly go off-piste and just kind of talk it through as I go along. So jumping straight in, the first thing that I would say with these challenges is do not attempt them unless you want to go all in with them. Unless you want to change your entire lifestyle around and adapt to kind of the rules of the challenge and take it forward and learn lessons from that, don't do it. If you want to just do it as a fitness fad because you've seen others lose weight from it or various other things, you won't complete it. If you're just doing it for weight loss, it won't work because you won't see the results immediately. You have to change your lifestyle for 75 days. And coming from someone who had no athletic background whatsoever, that's difficult. You next need to decide whether you want to do 75 soft, 75 medium, 75 hard. The main one is by Andy Frisella, which is 75 hard. And then there are various other like slimmed down versions. That's where 75 soft and medium come from. I started with 75 medium. I kind of saw a challenge, adapted it for me, kind of made it work. And I think that's what a lot of it is. You just kind of have to adapt bits of 75 hard that you know you won't be able to achieve and make it into something that you can. And that's where the medium comes from. The 75 hard is an actual challenge that's set by Andy Frisella, and fuck me, is it difficult. So with that being said, I would definitely recommend getting the smaller steps out of the way first. I'm talking drink your first like litre of water first thing in the morning, go for your first bit of exercise, take your progress photo, just whatever you need to do first, get it out the way. Reading, that one especially, I would get out the way first because there is nothing worse than when you want to go to sleep and you've still got to read 10 pages of some stupid book. Just be clear that it's not a stupid book, but you'll feel like it is a stupid book when you've got to cram it in at 11:50 at night and you've got to be up at 5 a.m. the next day for another run. And with that, I would say waking up early is a game changer. I didn't do this so much for 75 medium because it's only one workout a day, so it's quite nice to have your evenings to kind of work out. But when you've got to cram 2 in per day, getting out as soon as you wake up and going for a walk, honestly, game changer, makes you feel incredible. Or to just do like a gym workout or something, do something incredibly early. Extra piece of advice, get a 24-hour gym membership. Pure Gym, Snap Fitness, there's loads of them out there. Even if it's alongside your normal gym membership, just having A, 2 gyms makes a big difference because you're having like a change of scene. And B, the weekend hours and evening hours and morning hours are the reason why I have a 24-hour membership. I do not go at 3 a.m. to the gym. I do, however, like going at 5 a.m. when it's nice and quiet and everything, and you can go, whereas regular gyms tend to be like 7 till 10. So have a 24-hour gym membership. It'll be the biggest investment that you spend throughout this entire challenge. Back to the video. And you'll get to the point where if you don't wake up early, you'll feel like you're losing hours of the day. I never used to be a morning person. Like I always used to love my sleep. I'd sleep in until like 11 a.m. on like the weekends. Like I wouldn't wake up. But as soon as you start shifting it, yes, you'll have a few mornings where you feel a bit groggy, but you start going to sleep earlier as well. So it kind of counteracts that because you're exhausted from doing the 2 workouts, from like your body is knackered. So therefore you sleep earlier, you wake up earlier, and it just becomes your body clock. I finished today and I still woke up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. What the fuck's that about? If you're doing 75 hard, doing it in the winter sucks. This is relevant now because obviously I'm filming this in March, but doing it in the winter, I'm not gonna lie, it's fucking difficult. You've got to wake up every single morning and rain or shine, you've got to go outside. Like, and if you time it wrong and you leave it till the evening and then it starts raining, you get so annoyed that you didn't do a workout earlier in the day because you've got to go outside for 45 minutes, regardless if it's raining. That's part of the challenge. So in the winter, when it's not light until 7 a.m, it gets dark before you finish work. It's awful. So definitely in hindsight, now that people aren't doing it for like New Year's, I would do it in the summer where you've got longer days, you can fit more in, you can go outside without it feeling unsafe. I was walking walking around at 5 a.m. with my only little weapon being my Stanley Cup that I was carrying around. And if you don't think you're going to be able to go outside for 45 minutes every day, rain or shine, then I would definitely recommend medium or soft, because you don't have to go outside for those. There will be a period where you will hit a wall. I found this around the 30 to 40 day mark in each of the challenges, because you're far enough in that you're exhausted from it. Like, your body hasn't had a rest day, and that's a huge part of them. There are no rest days. You can kind of tailor things, which I'll talk about later, but you can't kind of take a day off, because otherwise you fail the challenge. But you're also not at the point at the 30 to 40 day mark where you're near enough the end where it feels like it's close. So those 10 days just drag, and there'll be days where you wake up and you will just hit a wall, and that's the part of the challenge where you have to just keep going. The next one, and I cannot stress this one enough, because this one I thought was gonna be easy because I'm quite an avid reader anyway. I live on my own, I read a lot. They can see the bookcase behind you. Choose books that interest you. 10 pages a day doesn't sound like a lot until you're forced to do it every day. And there's times where you cannot cram reading in and you still have to. I didn't really factor this one in because I do read quite a lot, and I still struggled with fitting 10 pages in. On the days where you're busy from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m, you've still got to read somewhere in there. And it's not like when you're going out, you can just take a book with you. So pick books that interest you and make you want to read. Jog On was a huge highlight for me and spurred me on to actually keep running. Like, it was the perfect book to read in the middle of it. The other one I read was Atomic Habits. That was a brilliant one. Diary of a CEO, unpopular opinion, didn't really get along with. I really struggled to kind of get on board with it, but it might be the right book for some people, especially if you're into like finance and stuff, which I am, but it didn't hit the spot for me. And I finished it with Sarah Millican's autobiography. So I read something that I really enjoy watching her on TV. So therefore an autobiography kind of works because it's still funny. I will also leave a link to some books down below in the description that I think are quite good. I've been recommended these anyway, so they're on my Amazon wish list, but I don't have my own personal opinion on them. Next one, listen to your body. This one, Jesus Christ, I did not do to begin with. I thought you had to go ham, just keep going, even if your body's shutting down, just keep going. You won't be able to sustain that even for 75 days. Like, it won't work. You can't do it. So with that, on the days where your legs are killing, you're having a mental health day, things like that, you just have to adapt the exercises to kind of fit you. You can't take a rest day, but you can kind of adapt it a bit. For example, on day 7, I thought it was it for me. Like, I had such a bad cold and I just walked. I did 2 walks and that was it. It wasn't anything strenuous. Other days I did my indoor exercise as yoga, outdoor exercise, walk, so it therefore didn't feel like it was a proper workout. It still was, and I was still burning calories and doing exercise, but I wasn't taking it to the point where I was running like 10k. So stick to the lower intensity exercises on days where you know your body needs a rest, because otherwise your body can't keep going. It doesn't work. Just choose a diet that is sustainable. For both 75 medium and 75 hard, I did home cooked meals on the most part, but that also doesn't include if you go out for meals and stuff, you're a bit screwed, you can't eat. So therefore, I kind of adapted it slightly that I would eat things off the menu that I would cook myself at home. On the most part, worked absolutely fine. There were a couple of times where I was like, this is a bit of a grey zone, but on the most part, I ate things that I would cook myself at home. So like, if I was in a restaurant, I know at home I would cook myself chicken, bacon, pasta, bake, so I'd have something like that. Or like steak, or you just don't go stupid with it. Don't order all the sides and everything else. Like, just do what you would cook at home. And that's how I took it anyway. I didn't do it as a serious diet. And not to sound cocky or anything, but I still lost weight. I still did absolutely fine because I cut out all of the snacking, all of the shit eating, binge eating, everything else. I'm gonna put a trigger warning here for eating disorders just because I don't wanna trigger anyone. Completely understand. I see so many people do 75 hard and limit their diet to basically nothing. And if you're working out twice a day, that is easily each day over 1,000 calories, fact, let alone your maintenance calories. So you cannot sustain 75 days in doing that. I'm someone who has tried every single little diet to lose weight. I struggled with my body weight for 23 years before I finally cracked it, if you will. Don't know if cracked it's the right word. I've still got weight to lose and stuff, but I managed to do it. And for years upon years, and I wish I could tell myself this. I feel emotional talking about it, to be fair. I would do these diets. I would track it on MyFitnessPal, which, by the way, I have not used once in 75 medium, 75 hard. Yes, it's good for tracking macros and good for tracking your protein levels and everything. What it's not good for is a calorie deficit. Calorie deficit does work for some people. I personally have not tracked a single calorie through either of these challenges, and if I'm living proof that you can do it without that, please take that. Because I used to hate how I looked, and I used to try and have days where I would eat as little as possible. I would go through days where I wouldn't eat, or I'd go through days where I'd try and keep it under like 800 calories. You can't do that, especially with the exercise drink. You cannot do that. It doesn't work and you will fail. Your body will shut down and you'll go, fuck this, and you'll have a cheat day. If you're sustainable about it and you just eat the meals that you need to, you're fine. Like, there were days where I didn't have lunch for about 75 pounds, but that's because I wasn't hungry. I was eating when I was hungry and I was eating proper meals. That is the hack of it. Cut out the shit, eat normal. Don't use MyFitnessPal. Just don't. It's an awful app. Brilliant in so many ways, but awful when it comes to dieting and restricting yourself. And it promotes the most awful eating habits. So just don't do it. And finally, remember, you can still go out and you can still have fun. I thought my social life was going to go in the bin. And don't get me wrong, you can't do it if you expect to keep up the social life you had before. It takes up a ton of time. But you get very used to adapting things. So waking up early and doing your workout so you've got the evening free, or vice versa. You find time in your day to slot it in and still have a social life. You also can still do things such as going to the pub and stuff. I didn't so much just because I didn't enjoy it as much, but you can still go out and have fun with Diet Coke. You can still do these things. I went to a bottomless brunch, I did karaoke, I went to various nights out and things where I just didn't drink. I just had Diet Cokes and it was fine. You realise you don't need it. And going forward, I'm not going to drink. As far as I'm aware, I've not set an end date for it, but I'm not going to drink. I really enjoyed being sober, which I'll talk about in another video, to be fair, because my sobriety journey has been interesting. And just remember, you can do it. If I can do it as a fat, small little man, you can do it. You got this. I believe in you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions at all, either comment down below or message me on Instagram. More than happy to answer any queries. And I'll see you guys soon with another video, because this is the start of my fitness journey. We're in our wholesome era. We're slaying, we're thriving, we're vibing. Hasta la vista.